Welcome back to Tank Talks. Today, myself, I will be talking about the much requested changing a tire. There are a few steps that you should follow when changing a tire. One of the things that you absolutely have to make sure is, not absolutely, but that's an absolute. I'm going to keep you as safe as possible. Make sure you're on flat ground. You don't want to be on a hill, you don't want to be on an incline or a slope or any sort, because once the car is up on the jack, that could cause problems. Second, you want to make sure you loosen the bolts while their car is still on the ground. The bolts are really tight. They may be really tight, so once you loosen them up or break them free from the setting position, you want to make sure all four tires are on the ground and you haven't yet lifted the car. Then once the car is up, then you can take them off the rest of the way and remove the tire. Same thing when putting the tire back on, or the spare tire. You want to make sure you tighten them up hand tight while the car is up in the air. Then once it's level, back on the ground, then you tighten them, because you don't want to put force on that jack while it's up in the air. So we're going to do that, and we're going to talk about tread. That's a good thing that you guys got to watch. You got to make sure that you pay close attention to is the tread on your tire, whether the car is pulling back and forth. But I'll get to that here in a second. For now, we're going to get this car up. I'm going to take you step by step, and we can take it from there. So you always want to make sure you put the parking brake or emergency brake on before you start changing your tire. Most cars have a spare tire. Either a lot of pickup trucks and stuff, the spare tire would be under the vehicle. Most SUVs, it'll be in the back of the vehicle. So this is a Ford Edge. This spare tire is tucked away under here. So you raise that, raise this, and then there is the spare tire. So I'll just loosen that up, and the jack and everything is over here to the side. So this is my first time dealing with this car or this jack in this way. So here's the jack. It was in this little felt pouch. There's the jack. There's the part that's going to come up on its side. Hopefully the wind isn't interfering. So this is what's going to come up, and then here is the wrench. So you can actually use this on the jack, and it's a two-in-one. This is also what you use to loosen up the bolts on the lug nuts. I keep saying both, they're called lug nuts. The lug nuts on the actual car. See? Perfect fit. So that's what you're going to use for that. So that's kind of neat. Okay, like I was saying, it has spots to actually where you put the jack. This vehicle, I actually had to refer to the owner's manual, because I saw these little arrows, but I'm like, what are the arrows for? I had to look at the owner's manual to see exactly what those arrows meant, and that's where you put the jack. So most cars, it's a there's a definite place to put the actual jack. So I'm gonna put it there, jack the car up, and then we'll take it from there. If you have hubcaps, most of these wrenches or most of these tools come with something to get a hubcap off. So you would use that to pop the hubcap off and get to your lug nuts. So what I'm going to do first is raise this thing, because you see how low it is. That's where it's going to be going. So what we're going to do is raise it. Try to find a quick way to raise this thing. That's too high now. Lower it a little bit. Okay, so it's ready to go. So I'm not going to raise that yet. You see, vehicle really does. I'm putting some force against it. It's not moving. So what I want to do is loosen these lug nuts. I'll get the jack ready. I'll put just a little bit of pressure on it so the jack doesn't move anymore. Then I'm going to loosen the lug nuts. But I'm not going to raise the vehicle yet. And you want to make sure that the jack is straight. It's plumb, straight up and down. It's not at an angle, towards sideways or whatever. Because like I said, this is going to be holding a quarter of the weight of your vehicle, which is a lot of weight. So you want to make sure that everything is plumb and straight up and down. So now I'm going to loosen the lug nuts. And this is going to be very difficult at first, because these things, they're already a little tight. So when you go to loosen them, you got to just break past that initial seal. And to loosen the lug nuts, you'll go counterclockwise. To tighten them, it'll be clockwise. See how it broke free? There. Now I'm not taking those off, I just loosen them. Now, I can raise the vehicle. So I can just go pretty quick like this. I'm gonna check it to make sure everything's still straight and on there the way it should be. And it is. So now we're gonna raise. Okay, so you're only gonna raise the vehicle just enough. You got a little more though. Just enough to where the tire is it's not even an inch off the ground, just enough so you can get the vehicle, get the tire off of the axle. There we go. So as you see, I can't even get my finger under there, but the tire is off the ground. That's as far as up as I want it. I don't need to go any further than that. So now that it's up, the suspension and everything is released, the tire is loose, you can take these the rest of the way out. Make sure you don't lose these. You're gonna need all of them again. And now, tire's on. I changed my mind. So this is the dummy tire. You can see it's a lot smaller. It's meant only to get you from point A, which would be where you got your flat, to point B to get your tire fixed. You can see it's not a lot to this guy, but it will do the job. I know I'm 240 pounds, so I'm making this look really easy. Some of these can be kind of hard to do. So what I've done in the past, make sure you're safe. Sit on the ground. Use your legs to lift the tire. It'll be a lot easier. There. That's on there. I know some of my viewers may be small frame people, so that's just an easier way of doing that. So naturally, the tire is going to want to hang. So you can get your lug nut started back on there. It's going to fall out at the bottom, so I suggest starting with the bottom one first, just to make sure that that thing is on there straight. It's imperative that the tire goes on straight. You don't want to put it on crooked. Now, that they're flush on there, now I'm just going to take the wrench, see how it's turning? That's all I want to do, is just snug it down. It's going to turn, snug it down. I'm not going to put any weight on this vehicle while it's on that jack. You don't want to do that. So, when I say snug, you can use 3 fingers, just press. That's all you need to do. Because you don't want to over tighten it yet. I go back and repeat each lug nut 2 or 3 times because I want to be positive. I don't want to skip a step. So it's always best to go back and redo those things again and again. Not again and again because you don't want to be 3 hours doing this, but you want to go back and repeat just to make sure that you didn't miss a lug nut, that one of them was not loose. So that's pretty much on there. Now I can lower the jack. I didn't put all the weight on the vehicle yet, but most of it is on all the weight on the tire yet, the spare tire, but most of the weight is on here. So now that most of the weight is on here, I'm gonna go and make sure these are snug. Make sure they're snug, good and tight. Now I'm going to continue to lower the vehicle the rest of the way. are now ready to go to the repair shop and get your tire fixed. It's on there just to demonstrate. I will turn on the vehicle and turn the tire. So that's how you change a tire. Now, one more point I want to make, because I'm going to put the other tire back on and put this guy back. I want to talk about the tread on your tire. So, if you're driving your car and you shouldn't have to hold your steering wheel to keep your vehicle to go straight. It should just kind of glide along by itself. So if you're having to hold your vehicle, if it's constantly wanting to pull to the left or the right, you need wheel alignment for that. And that's when your wheels are out, your front tires are off alignment and it starts to pull to one direction or the other. That's because the tires are offset. Like we're going straight down the road, one tire is pointed this way a little bit, one that way, or they're like this or like that. So you always see in shops, you say wheel rotation and alignment. That's what they're talking about. So that's a good indicator to know whether you need wheel alignment. And one way to make sure that your vehicle wheel tires are aligned is looking at your tire tread. The tread is these little grooves. So here are the grooves, and they should all be even. They should wear down even. When the wheel tire alignment is off, you'll see, you've seen people's tires where one side is completely smooth or the in or out is completely smooth. You can look at, just by looking at the back tire and the front tire when the wheels are turned, you'll see that that's smooth all the way down. You don't want that. That means you don't have good traction. You want the best traction that you could possibly have. So if that's done, they either need new tires or you need new tires, or they need to be rotated if you see it starting to wear. It doesn't have to be smooth, but if it's starting to wear on one side or the other, you need the tire rotation. Everything should wear evenly, and that saves you money in the long run. So this has been another episode of Tank Talks. If you have any questions, comments, please put them below. Please like, subscribe, and share. Any suggestions, please let me know. Till next time, y'all have a good one. Hope that was helpful.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the There's my husband, Marcus. Is that